All right, Ethan, we are back for more chats on everything AEO, GEO, as we had such a juicy conversation from before. And last week, I had VC Comms Con that we had with about 100 comms marketing heads at venture funds. And this conversation was brought up, I cannot even tell you. Now, the reason you were not at our conference was because you were hosting your own conference. So passing ships and everything. Let me start with, what were the ahas that came out of your conference? Because you were doing one that was AEO specific, of course, because that's what y'all do.
Yeah, a few that came out. The first is that AI is much bigger than previous reports, because previous reports have only been web, and I've seen app data, which is just available, and
Yes.
75% of AI usage is on mobile apps, so it's just much bigger. And then the second thing is that prompts are much more specific and longer than searches. So searches skew towards the head and are short, 3.5 words, whereas prompts are 10 plus words. So they're way more specific, way more in the tail.
Yeah.
And so search is all in the head, AI is all in the tail. So it's very different. And then I think people were just generally wanting more and more case studies of things that actually work.
Okay, so case studies that actually work. So what's actually working right now, would you say?
What's working is product content. Like, I want a product with this, this, and this integration, this feature, this use case, FAQs, help center, that kind of stuff.
Which people can make their own FAQs on their own website to help that.
Yeah, what people are struggling with is offsite. And the biggest mistake is people will say, well, half of all the citations are from Reddit, which is not true. And so I just need to worry about Reddit. So I'm going to hire a shady Reddit agency where they're going to create fake Reddit accounts, and they're going to like each other and get karma. And then they're going to show up to threads. Show up to threads where the people are asking about tools, and they'll be like, well, I just stumbled upon this tool, and have you guys checked it out? It's really great. So that's what people are, and it's not really, I haven't seen it work. Maybe it's working sometimes, but that's where people are getting stuck. Also, people have seen the top cited domains and assume that those are the only 10 cited domains. It's a relative pie graph, but if you actually look at the distribution of the domains that are cited, it's extremely fragmented. So you can't just say, well, I'm just going to do Reddit and everything's going to be fine. You need a much broader approach, which is, of course, PR is one of the things that I've been suggesting. Like, how do you optimize for 1,000 domains? Well, you could have 1,000 different people, head of Reddit, head of YouTube optimization, or you could mass syndicate content that goes across all these different domains.
Okay, so let's get into that, because I don't think we covered it on our first little clip. When so many places, like a startup, let's say, or a venture fund, or one of the people you're talking to, which you deal with much more larger enterprise, what's the first step? This is what you need to assess.
First thing you need to do is take the prompts that you want to win, because depending on the category, the strategy is quite different. So take the prompts you want to win and that you want to look good, put it in a tracking tool, see the domains that are showing up, and build a strategy based on those domains. So an example would be for
give us an example, because you're like, I don't know maybe what my prompt is. Okay.
Yeah, so for commerce or credit cards, you're going to see a bunch of affiliates and listicles and Tech Radar and Forbes Advisor and all that sort of stuff. Now, if you're a venture capital firm, you're not going to see any of that. You are going to care about people who know about you and asking about you. Is this a good investor? Is this a good VC firm? So that's a very different strategy. That would be, we call it an offsite owned strategy. So my AngelList, my Crunchbase, my profile in these other places, versus an enterprise B2B company, which is going to be like best payroll management software. It's going to be probably owned off. It's going to be onsite, owned offsite, and earned offsite. So it's going to be and PR is exactly what I would want for earned. But the strategies are quite different. So start with the prompts you want to win, see who's showing up, and then build strategies based on the types of domains that are showing up for those prompts.
And is that where then you all start, once you do that analysis and go like, okay, so here's the sites we want to show up on? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What are some other mistakes people are making right now as they consider this domain, as in AEO, GEO? How am I getting found in Claude, ChatGPT, etc.?
First thing is they're looking at head prompts, and I mentioned that most prompts are long. So they're looking at the wrong prompts. They're anchored still to search. Short, what's the best tool for X? Very few people are typing what's the best tool for X. They're typing what's the best tool for X with this, 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 and this. So they're tracking the wrong prompts.
Mm.
Second thing is that all tracking tools are either logged out or API data, and users are logged in. And so the actual answers are quite different from what you see in the tracking tools. So you should use a tracking tool, but you should also manually look at what's showing up. And what you'll see frequently is the citations are different, and there are fewer citations in tools. So you want to look at the actual answers and actual citations manually to cross-validate that.
Well, this is what you've talked with me about and this is the same with us because we're an agency of like, no. We're service-based. This isn't a tool you're just plugging in and, wave into it. Like this is a service-based thing that you need to like get into the weeds with. I want to take then even a further step back, and I alluded to it of just like the prompting is like, okay, I could be doing it wrong. I think I want to have this answer be what I put, but how would you get good? How do you suggest getting good at prompting so that I am actually soliciting the right answers?
Yeah, go where people are asking those questions.
Yeah.
So, what questions are people asking about hiring a PR agency? You would know because you're on the calls and they're asking you the questions. So mine your calls and see what are people asking about PR. Or for me, what questions are people asking about hiring an SEO, AEO agency? Go on my sales calls. That's one option. Another option is Reddit. Another option is customer support. If you're a consumer enterprise product, like go
what about LinkedIn?
LinkedIn for mining questions.
Yeah.
Could be.
And tell us, okay. Tell us where you are with LinkedIn too.
Well, I mean, my LinkedIn is very different from other people's LinkedIn. Other people say their LinkedIn is flooded with humble brags and 669 posts.
Yeah.
Mine is not. I actually made in Claude, I made a 669 post LinkedIn post generator so that you can create your own 669.
There you go.
Yeah. But my feed is great. But it's not people asking questions usually. It's people posting. I did a case study. Here's what happened. So for me, I just post our research and my strategies and stuff like that. And I have a good experience, but I'm not seeing a lot of questions asked.
Okay, so maybe LinkedIn is not viable for most folks. Okay, can you give us an example, case study? We could just verbally go on. Wow, you don't have to name the client, but client X started with us, and here's where they were, and here's where they are today, or here's the results of what it is. I know you have some examples, of course, on your website, but what can you tell us? Because I want to get the wheels turning for people to go like, oh, that's similar to where we are.
We talk about Webflow a lot. That's where we've had the most wins, and that's a bunch of stuff. Adding FAQs, headers as questions, help center, YouTube videos, Reddit. Another example is a company that I can probably mention, but I haven't asked them, so I won't mention it. But they had a Forbes article about them versus an alternative, and it did really well. And you could see their visibility jump up right away as a result of that PR hit. So those are two examples that are top of mind.
Okay, so let's talk about then the PR emphasis, because you and I have talked a lot about that. I just shared a piece with you, and I'll put it in the notes if we can. On Gartner just came out with a report on like what are chief communication officers looking at for this year, and then what's the crystal ball. And one of the pieces they talk about is, hey, we anticipate like a 2x spend plus on earned, owned, etc. And media specifically because of all the LLMs that need to be finding, of course, these answers and so forth. So you've been quite bullish, I know, on media relations and like the earned and pieces. You just gave that great example with Forbes, but what else should we be thinking about? I'm saying we as in a startup founder, someone in the comms role or the marketing seat at a startup as it relates to the use of earned as it pertains to the models. Like, so double my budget, Ethan, is that what you're telling me? Or what do I need to look at?
Should triple your budget. Okay. And I say that as we don't offer PR. So that's not a
I know you're not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thing. You should triple your budget. You should quintuple your budget. Here's why. The reason why is because, as I mentioned, the prompts are very long. The citations are extremely fragmented. AI is summarizing for consensus. So the more, the better. It's not enough for just your URL to show up in the citations. You need multiple mentions of your brand across an extremely fragmented set of websites for which it's very hard to target one and just optimize for the one. So you need to go as broad as you possibly can so that you win. The second thing is that the channel is large. The channel is over half the size of search. It's a massive channel.
Right now. Yeah,
right
already
now.
right now, just even
Right
have,
now.
yeah.
And it's extremely primed. It's more primed than search. So Webflow's
Yes.
referral traffic is 6x conversion rate, their SEO traffic.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's a massive channel, super primed.
Yes.
The tail is where all the action is that people are not looking at.
Mhm.
So it hasn't been
Mhm.
optimized against. Citations are extremely fragmented. So for all of these, and people are not really thoughtfully doing this yet. So it's sort of
Mhm.
greenfield. And
I call
so
it the Wild West right now. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, real quick to
my
clarify, or if I
yeah.
may, just on you're saying it's fragmented with the citations. That my understanding of that is quality discernment is not there. In other words, Wikipedia is not being like, ooh, less than Wall Street Journal piece or something. It's just, someone with a Substack newsletter that's deep and detailed might as well be cited as another one. There's no like quality control mechanism currently.
There's a quality control mechanism, but it's not a winner take all. So it's less
Yeah.
that there's not a quality control, it's that many people's opinions matter. In search,
Mm,
the top 3 results are all that matters. Nobody goes to page 5, but
that's
AI
right.
is going to page 5 and it's considering the opinion of the thing on page 5. So that's why going broad matters, is because AI is looking at consensus.
Yes, consensus and finding the answer, not the best necessarily of the
The
highest
wisdom of the
ranking.
crowd.
The
So
wisdom
they're
of the
not
crowd.
finding the best expert, because Google is the best expert, number one.
Yeah.
This is the wisdom of the crowd. So the crowd matters. And the more hits that you have in the crowd, the more likely you are to be the answer.
Ooh, that distillation is perfect. I want to know the answer of the wisdom of the crowd. Therefore, triple your budget, as you're saying, in earned media, Ethan. There sounds good. What else are people doing wrong that you're like, oh God?
Measurement.
Okay, tell us more.
It's hard to measure anything really, but it's especially hard to measure. You can't click on something, and most answers you can't click on anything. And
Yeah.
so most of the impact is impossible. It's impossible to precisely directly measure through
Mm,
event tracking like we would usually do. So people are not measuring it properly. And
mm,
we always recommend asking an attribution question at the end of the conversion. How did you hear about us? There's also other stuff you can do. We work with this one company called Upside that sort of visualizes the user journey
yeah.
for sales-led
Yeah.
conversions.
Hmm.
I just did a webinar with them yesterday where if you look at our last touch data for Graphite, you would say email is where all of our conversions come from, but that's not where our
Hmm.
conversions come from.
Mm-mm.
They come from research, LinkedIn posts, dinners. Like nobody clicks on a link at a dinner, right? But the
No.
dinners are really impactful.
Yes. Yes.
An event with BAM, like
There you go.
that's
Yeah.
where the leads come. You
Yeah.
prime them, and maybe they clicked on an email before they actually said contact us, but that's not where the
Yeah.
lead came from.
Yeah. It rooted way back. This is the problem with PR though in general too. Like, oh, was it actually they got exposed to an article, let's say, they read it or whatever, but then on the form, the human will say, "Oh, I saw it on LinkedIn." No, you didn't. No, it came way back. I don't know how we take care of the human error problem on that front, because psychology is multiple exposures, let's say. And I also forgot. I simply forgot.
Yeah, I think the company I mentioned will
Yeah.
have a like a journey map of all of the
Yeah.
touch points, and so you don't know the
Mm.
weights of the touch points, but you can at least
Yes.
see them for the ones that
Yes.
you can measure. Like for the dinner example, we're just manually typing up who came to the dinner, and then you can sort of visualize that, and then you
Hmm.
can make some educated guesses on that.
Yeah. Okay. So educated guesses. Okay. That sounds good. What are you excited about?
I'm excited about the fact that this is one of the biggest new technology trends in a long time, and we're
And you
at the
started in
center.
SEO days, and like you're like, oh, and I'm in the center of this wave. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's how I feel too.
nobody
Even like, yeah.
at no point was anybody super excited about SEO since I started. They're like, it's a channel, it's cool, but nobody said, oh my God, I'm so excited about SEO. Now they are. So that's great.
Well, as you said to me back in December, it's Christmas time for marketers in all of 2026. So appreciate that. I feel it too. We're having a great time. Thanks for dazzling us with some data points, Ethan, and some knowledge, of course, that we all need. So this is good. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you.